Now at 6:30, people's belongings in ruin after an EF3 tornado ripped through the western suburbs overnight. And here's a bird's eye view from Skycam 9. And you see people inside these homes. Residents of Naperville and Woodridge had just seconds to try to take cover. The tornado left people injured. It destroyed homes. But tonight, communities are gathering to help each other clean up in what will be undoubtedly a long rebuild ahead. The cleanup operation has begun in Woodridge, one of the hardest hit areas when last night's tornado hit. Okay, so let's go to WGN's Brona Tumulty. She's joining us now from a neighborhood there with a firsthand look at some of the damage and also how officials are responding to this storm tonight. Brona.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, we're told about 100 structures, mostly residential, were damaged through all of this. It's estimated the tornado was about 3 blocks wide and traveled about 3 miles. The sheer force of it bringing down a lot of trees, a lot of branches, a lot of that lying around on the ground right now. They're in the process of getting chopped up as we speak. Some of the houses here had damage to their roofs. Others lost their roofs entirely, as you can see right behind me. But the most important thing is no lives were lost in all of this, which is amazing considering everything folks were facing when those sirens went off.
At approximately 10:48, our tornado alarms were sounded because there was a sighting of a tornado.
After that, it was all hands on deck for Woodridge, but those early warning sounds saved lives.
Along the track of this storm, you see instances where homes have had their walls torn off, their roof torn off, and people who are able to get to the basement or to a safe central room.
After the sirens, the phone started ringing.
Once the tornado touched down, we had over 200 calls for service.
Those were for downed power lines, small fires, uprooted trees, and frantic relatives hoping loved ones were okay.
People couldn't get out of their garages. There was damage to the doors. There was debris in the way. Some people were elderly. Some people had medical issues. They were on oxygen.
An overwhelming task for first responders racing in to help as Mother Nature raged around them.
It was difficult, but they handled the situation tremendously.
As morning broke, the true devastation was revealed.
I've lived in Woodridge since 1967, and I do not personally remember any type of an event like this.
The cleanup will happen over time, but the impact you don't see could last much longer.
I'm just emotional because it is devastating to drive through the community that I grew up in and worked in and share with so many wonderful neighbors.
Because watching your home, your belongings, your life ripped apart and tossed aside in mere moments understandably can take a toll.
It's like a bomb went off. And that's the way a lot of tornadoes are described.
That's why, in addition to all the things you'd expect, the Red Cross has resources on hand you might not initially think of.
If the family or the individual is suffering a little bit more than maybe that person can help, we have disaster mental health professionals. These are licensed clinical social workers. They're practitioners that can help us out.
They're set up at Thomas Jefferson Junior High School, and they'll be here as long as they're needed.
Our job is to help people in times of need, and we're going to help alleviate that human suffering. We're not going to leave until the last person's taken care of.
Now, we're told by the mayor that the village has had people going door to door here today, making sure everyone is doing okay or as okay as they can be, and most importantly, accounted for. She also mentioned that people from neighbouring areas have been reaching out, asking to come and help people. Everybody wants to chip in. She mentioned that if you want to do that, they're going to make updates about that on the village's website and social media pages. Well, live in Woodridge, Brona Tumulty, WGN News.
Yeah, a lot of people want to help. Okay, Brona, thank you. And Naperville was also hit hard. As bad as it was, officials say it could have been much worse. The fire department says one of the big challenges was going door to door in the middle of the night to make sure that everyone was accounted for. Now we want to go to WGN's Dana Revick. She is live in Naperville with that part of our live team coverage. Dana.
Good evening. Ranch View Elementary School behind me here served as an emergency shelter last night for those who were displaced. They have been feeding first responders here today as well, as nearly 24 homes in Naperville are now unlivable.
This tornado went through so quickly and so dramatically that it affected homes in so many different ways.
Officials assessing the damage in daylight. Meteorologists with the National Weather Service on the ground as well.
EF1, there's a lot of EF1 damage. That would be a lot of the large tree limbs that you've seen taken out. And then the damage that you see to homes, that starts to get into the EF2 range. And so, you know, EF2 and EF3 are both certainly in play here.
Later this afternoon, meteorologists confirmed this was an EF3 tornado. In total, 22 homes in Naperville are now uninhabitable and 130 others were damaged. 8 people were hospitalized, all but 2 have been released. That couple still at Edwards Hospital upgraded to good and fair condition after being rescued from this home that was leveled to the ground.
We had to split up very quickly and find out what the highest priority was. Noticed that the building was completely demolished like that, and noticed the sounds of people, so we put our technical rescue team into place.
When the tornado touched down here just after 11 p.m., many people were sleeping, but report being awoken by tornado sirens and cell phone alerts and were able to rush to safety.
You know, through the entire track of this tornado, you saw instances like this where homes have their walls torn off, their roof torn off, but because people were able to get to a strong central room in their house or the basement if they can, that we saw so far no loss of life.
Congressman Bill Foster says at this point, after the assessment of the damage today, he does not believe that Naperville or Woodridge will qualify for federal disaster relief, but he says he has been in touch with Governor Pritzker today to talk to him about state assistance. Live in Naperville, Dana Rebick, WGN News.